Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Kauai. I'm Rita Andriello Farron, and this is my co-spiritual director, Patrick Farron. And for those of you who are new, we just welcome you today. Thank you for joining us here. And we'd like to start with announcements. So first of all, I have a few things. Our new Science of Mind book magazine is in, and if you want one, today is the day to get it because they go fast. And then we also have a new book in the bookstore by one of our members, Deborah Valentina, and highly recommend it. So please take a look at it. And Kelly Stevenson will be back in the bookstore today because Marta is out of town. So we also had a visioning last week, and the results for that visioning are on a piece of paper in the back if you're interested in looking at it. So they are back there. And also, one other thing, which I don't have up here, but in the back is cards for the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto is sponsoring the Canadian New Thought Conference that's starting on June 3rd. And I'll be going to it, and a couple of people here are actually going to it. So if you're in the Canada, Toronto area and you want to look that up, and the cards are in the back, we would love to have you join us there. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a thanks to we had the Kamalani Playground cleanup yesterday, and quite a few of our members were there. It was wonderful. We learned how to build tables, some of us, and I want to give a special thanks to Stephanie, Deborah, Glenn, Rob and Roseanne, Kelly, Stevenson, Jeanette, and Scott. I don't think Scott's here today. I don't see. Anyway, but thank you for coming out. I know everybody was maybe not on the CSL team, but you're all members of our center, and we're grateful to support Lidgate Park and Kamalani. Okay, so you know we're live streaming. Maybe some of you don't know that. Spread the word that we are live streaming now. That's what this little Mac here is doing, and thanks to Dan. So you can tune in every Sunday at around 9:05 when we start here, or you can archive. We archive, so it's always available by just going to our site and clicking on the button that says archive videos here or live stream here. And today after service, we have our men's and women's groups meeting down at Lidgate Park. The women will meet, we always meet at the pavilion and then find a place, the large pavilion, and the men meet by the sacred site at the north end of the park. So please join us for that, and if you can bring a snack, that's good too. We now have a youth center. I don't think there are any youth here today, but we have a wonderful youth director, Janice Perez, who's standing back there. Just wave your hand. Tell families that we have a youth center now and a wonderful program, and we call it the Youth Empowerment Hour with Janice. Also, we're looking for a new space. We are growing out of this room, and we are actually looking for a bigger place. So if you know of a place, please talk to myself or Patrick or Kelly Stevenson or Scott. If you don't know him, Anyway, talk to one of us, or Brian McKenzie, or any of our board. This week, we are starting for sure the Science of Mind Foundations class again. So it will start on Thursday, the 23rd, at the Lahui Library Conference Room. So if you are interested in learning more about this teaching and really delving into yourself and delving into using it in your life, this is the place to do it. It's a wonderful 10-week class, and the only commitment we ask from you is to commit to the 10 weeks. You can miss 2 classes, but we don't want people just dropping in, so it is a commitment to say, I'm going to take this class, and I'm going to grow in this class and have the camaraderie of the other students. So please feel free to join us this Thursday. There's a sign-up in the back. We have a spiritual cinema coming up in Princeville. We're doing the film 3 Magic Words. And if you come to the filming, you'll know what the 3 magic words are. That change your life. And we enjoy popcorn and a discussion. We enjoy popcorn and a discussion after it. And then on the 28th of April, we are doing a healing labyrinth infused with music at the Princeville Community Center. Michael and Carrie will be there with their Tibetan bowls and their flutes and guitar, and we will be doing a Healing Labyrinth Walk at the Princeville Community Center on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., April 28th. And also, we want you to join us. We have a lot going on. We want you to join us at the National Day of Prayer.
Yes.
Last year, we do this every year in all over the country, I guess. But in Kauai, it's at the Rotunda. It starts at 9 o'clock, and it's sponsored by the Interfaith Roundtable, of which Patrick and I are members. And we do this whole beautiful thing. The people from different faiths come and pray and give a little presentation, and we pray for the earth and peace and the divine wisdom of our leaders, all of that good stuff. So please come and join us so we can join in consciousness. It's May 7th from 9 to 11 in the morning. And you don't have to come for the whole thing, even if you just stop by. It would be great at the Rotunda in Lahui. So what else? That's it. Birthdays are next Sunday. So all our April birthdays will be celebrated next Sunday. Even though we have a few that have a happy birthday today. One of them's Malia, and what's your name? Fred. Yeah, they're celebrating birthdays today. Yay.
And this month.
Yeah, but next week we will have our cake. So if you're still here, Fred, you can come have cake. Okay.
No cake today, Fred.
All right. So also before we start, I want to introduce our musical team.
Woo!
Yes. All right. Yes. So this is our peace candle. We light it every Sunday before our meditation to remind ourselves that peace begins within us, and to center in that knowing that as we experience that peace within, it radiates out into our lives, into our families, into the community, into the world. But it has to start with us. So we just give ourselves that gentle reminder every Sunday. So just take a deep breath. Settle in your seat. Jeremy and Amy will be playing some nice soft music behind this. We can just relax for a few moments and just center in the presence and know that we are safe and that we are always supported by an infinite universe that is peace and love and is always conspiring in our favor. And I have a little seed thought for you to bring in to your time, and it is this. Faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. Saint Augustine. Enjoy your time. And so faith is to believe what you do not see. And the reward of faith is to see what you believe. So let's just take a deep breath. Get back in touch with our physicality, but stay in that place within as we join in consciousness in this moment, this unborn moment, knowing that there is only one power, one source, one creative energy, one divine light, one divine love. We call it by many names, but it doesn't matter what we call it, for it is one thing, and it is all of what we are, all of who we are. We are individualized, beautiful, amazing expressions of this one source, of this one light, of this one magnificence. And I know that we bring that here today to this service, to this time, and we allow ourselves to just be and expand into that oneness, that connectedness that we all share, that power that we all share together in and individually. So I know this is a good time and a wonderful, loving time of community and a perfect place for us to be safe and to know and to grow and to share and to give. It's a perfect unfoldment through everything that happens here today. So I just give great thanks for this service, for this time together, for this celebration, and for all of us here. And I just release my word with that gratitude into law. And I know it is done perfectly, as we can say together, and so it is now. Thank you. So just wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers, or whatever it is, and we're awake.
So aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
It is so nice to see such fresh faces out here today and new faces.
And Loya with her beautiful flowers
and I know a few of you are
in the
from
door.
Dana Point, just rumors out, just to let you know. And we have our beautiful flowers coming in.
Yay.
From Mother Earth and Loya.
Thank you, Loya.
For those of you who are new, it just keeps unfolding like this, the whole thing. It just keeps unfolding.
We don't know what is going to happen, but we know that it's all good. So that's because.
And we also want to say hello to everyone out there watching from the live stream. And we know that Marta, who is now running the bookstore, is out there watching us at this very moment.
So.
We see you. I've always wanted to say that.
So here you are, Center for Spiritual Living, and if you don't know what we practice here, we practice an ancient wisdom called the Science of Mind and Spirit that basically just says that God, the source, the light, the energy, expresses itself throughout all of creation, and of course we're part of that creation, so where else would it be but within us? So our beingness in life is to just let that out to the greatest possible way we can in all that we do, all that we say, and in our relationships, in all of our life, to let that spirit, let that life force, let that magnificence that we are out in our individual way, and know that as we let it out, because of this law of cause and effect, it just comes back to us beautifully. We are a reflection, and our lives are a reflection of us practicing that divine presence at all times. So thank you for being here. Yes.
And speaking of first time, who is here for the very first time? We've never laid eyes on us. We've never been in this room.
Oh,
there
wow.
we go. We have a little gift for you.
Yeah.
And Roseanne will be
And
passing
if
it
we're
out.
short, come back next week.
No, actually, if we're short, that's a very good thing, right? That means that we ran out. It's like programs.
Keep your
When
hands
you
up
run
your
out of
head.
programs, that's a good thing.
There's one right there.
And then we have up here.
This is Roseanne, one of our board members.
There we go. So, and then there's one right over here where the fingers are all pointing. Right here, I see you.
Yeah, we can share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Passing back to.
Oh, she's pointing to somebody that didn't get one.
Okay,
All
so
right.
we'll just give us your address. We'll be sending you a double pack. Oh yeah, there you go.
This is Kelly. He's our,
This is
our,
Kelly.
our in-house
Kelly's
photographer. Okay.
Oh, there we
All
go.
right, so.
So everybody did. Okay, so now that that's over with, we have to let you know that we not only are we giving you a gift, but we also found something out about you before you got here. Just I like that. The look is like, really? No, it's actually a good thing. So what we'd like to do, we'd like to tell you something about yourself. Shall we, everyone?
Yes.
You are magnificent! But you already knew that though, right? So you're probably wondering how we knew that. The reason we know that is we can't know that about you unless we know it about ourselves. And that is exactly what we are. Shall we say it all together?
Yes.
I am magnificent. Now look over to somebody left, right, over, and you tell them who they are. I just played them. I just played them. I love our new Tibetan bowl, by the way.
Okay,
Oh.
so are we good?
We're
All
good.
right, so Jeremy and Amy are going to lead us in our opening song.
Yes,
go for it.
indeed.
Which is new, kind of. We started it last week.
Okay, if everybody could stand up, let's do it.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, so just a reminder on this one, when we repeat the song, which we'll do this number 3 times. So we'll sub out the word seasons. The second time we will say source. And the third time we will say truth.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I wanna humble myself inside of the seasons. I wanna ask them what they know. I wanna humble myself inside of the seasons. I wanna know what they know, and we shall lift each other up. Higher, and we shall lift each other up. Okay, inside of the source this time. I wanna humble myself inside of the
So we have a,
Can we just raise your hand if there's an empty chair next to you? Great. Yeah, that's good.
are we good?
Good.
Good. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kelly. Welcome again. So we have a beautiful reading today that will be done by one of our wonderful members, student, woman of her own businesswoman company, author. She's the one who has the book in the back. And she's going to lead us in our community reading, and that is Deborah Valentina. Thank you.
So I will read it first, and then I will ask you to go ahead and repeat it with me after I do it once. All right, here we go. I surrender to the divine intelligence and love that is my very life. No matter what, I am an immortal spiritual being right now, perfect in my reflection of the whole image in which I am created. I embody this knowing now. I am whole and healthful, and my physical experience reflects this now in joy. So repeat with me. I surrender to the divine intelligence and love that is my very life. No matter what, I am an immortal spiritual being right now, perfect in my reflection of the whole image in which I am created. I embody this knowing now. I am whole and healthful, and my physical experience reflects this now in joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Doesn't it feel good to say that?
Yes.
They say whatever you put behind I am, and so it is. So when we're saying I am anything, it just gives me God bumps when I think about it. Yes, I get God bumps. Just that whole idea that Deborah was talking about just giving, and the word surrender. But really, surrender can scare people, telling you, I'm surrendering. But what it really is allowing. Just allowing. So I'm going to allow some wonderful expression now with our wonderful Jeremy and Amy. When I'm up here introducing you, I just bathe in gratitude. They came to us, I remember a while now, they were going to come in just to fill in. And so they not only filled in, but they just expanded with us. And our hearts are always open to you, and we just, consider you absolute ohana. Thank you for bringing this every week to us. Mahalo.
It's easy if you try. No heavy lowers above us only sky. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Imagine no more countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And only job to imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us. hope someday you will join us and the world will live its one. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will live its
That was so beautiful. Thank you. Crying's good. My heart was just so touched by that. Thank you. Especially, it's so perfect for what we want to talk about today, which is I see you. I see you. So, I'm going to start actually with that because I actually had that song in my talk, so I'm just going to start there as well. I wasn't going to necessarily quote, but I was going to just talk about one part of it, which is like when we start to think in a certain way, which is what we're talking about today, that idea of seeing the good, seeing the peace, seeing the love. That sometimes we are thought to be crazy. We are thought that that's not the normal way, that the normal way is to see the other way. And that's so far from the truth. And I think we know that in this room. And so I know that as we stay strong and really live that truth, not just say the words, not just sing the song, but actually start to see things differently, that we're going to see amazing things happen on planet Earth. You know, it's not too late. It's just the beginning. So I thank you all for seeing me, and I just continue to see you and to see the world in that place that we want it to be, knowing that it already is. So with that said, kind of started me on this road. What I notice is sometimes it's just a bad habit, like it's just a habit we have to break. Like I was in Kmart the other day, and I know these things, right? And I was running around like seeing the end result of what I was looking for, which was just a wallet, as it was not going to happen. Like I was running around like a crazy person going, you know, they're just not going to have it. I mean, I couldn't even believe what was coming out of my mouth until Patrick said, do you realize what you're saying? You're seeing that you're not going to have it when you're going to have it, right? Why can't you just switch that right now? And so, as one of our students said in class the other night when we were reading her sharing, she said, I just shifted the thought and I saw correctly. And that's really all we have to do. It's just sometimes, it's just bad habits that we've gotten into to seeing the negative part of life when it's really the positive. Emerson once wrote that prayer is the contemplation of the facts from the highest of life, the facts of life, from the highest point of view. Prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. The guy was brilliant, as we well know. And Ernest Holmes learned a lot from him too. So that doesn't mean that just when we pray, like we have a prayer, that we see from the highest point of view. We can pray all day long. Prayer is just our thought being expressed in whatever way we're expressing it. So why not see like the facts from the highest point of view? For instance, I'll bring a current thing that we've all been through, like our taxes. Okay, we all have our feelings about our taxes or not taxes or whatever. But when we're doing them or whatever we're doing with them, if we could just see the positive outcome of that and that it's going to be done with ease and grace before we even start, everything shifts. I know that for a fact because I've experienced it. Eric Butterworth, who we're studying in spiritual economics, said You see things not as they are, but as you are.
Yes.
So this is why we change and we evolve, because we're looking out and there's a world out there. We're seeing it, but we're seeing it from as we are, not as it is. We've twisted it around. So the goal is to work from the inside out and see a different way. And we can't. Well, another example. So yesterday we got to build picnic tables. So, Deborah. And Deborah even said to me when she went in there, she was like, there's no way I'm going to do this. And I was thinking the same thing. I don't know anything about building picnic tables. But then we shifted our thought about it. And it turned out to be the most expansive, amazing community experience that I'd had like in a long time, and that in working together. And we created these 6 beautiful picnic tables. Now, can you imagine what the experience would have been like if we had sat there grumbling the whole time or wondering how we ended up in the picnic table building section of the cleanup? And why we weren't with Roseanne fixing the food where we would have felt very comfortable. But so it's just the way we want, well, the way we see the income too. Eric Butterworth calls it that, we have these laws, we call them laws, but they're all the law of cause and effect showing up in different ways. And I don't know if you like that term or not, but he calls it the law of visualization. And he says that we can't escape that. Like, we can't escape the law of visualization. That as we see, we are willing the outcome of whatever the experience is. That's really powerful for me to know that as I'm seeing something, I'm willing the outcome. Now, we can't do that to another person. Like, I know sometimes it's hard for us to maybe see somebody that we're going through some traumatic thing with, and we can't make something happen to another person. We only have control over our own minds. But as we see, we're willing the outcome for ourselves, because everything is really our perception, which is more of what Patrick's going to be talking about later. So we have this little rooster. And you all know, because everybody thinks we're crazy, but see, like the song told us, we're not. We are just, we love this rooster, and he's been, we've nursed him since he was a little baby, and because he has 1 foot, and we see his highest good at all times, and he got hurt recently, and we didn't know what happened to him. He had just come back to our porch because we had to stop feeding the birds because we're not supposed to feed them, so we don't feed them anymore, but he started coming back to our porch and sitting on our porch like he used to do when he was a baby, so we just gave him a little food. Nobody saw us. Oh yeah, sorry guys. If you're watching, it was just on my porch. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. Right. Okay. So anyway, but so one day his name is Kaua'i because it means guardian. We took away the limping name. We had Cassidy or something like that. And we call him Kaua'i because it means guardian. Anyway, he disappeared last week, and we didn't know what happened to him. So we were like treating for him. Of course, we always treat for everything. So, but I asked Patrick. He said, okay, I want to know if I can know what happened to him. I want to treat to know what happened to him. I don't want to not know what happened to him. I'm willing to accept whatever it is, but I want to know, because I don't want to sit here wondering what happened. And I thought about people that have to deal with that with their loved ones, never knowing. And I thought, oh my God, we have the right to know and to know. And so I said, I want to know. And so I did a treatment to know. And the very next thing that happened is this lady left a note on our door telling us that she had seen him. And so I was so excited about this because, so see, this is what treatment does. It's a way of seeing what you want to see, of approaching the world from a positive view. We don't like pray the problem, we pray the solution. So here's the solution. I want to see my little rooster. I want to know that he's either transitioned or I know he's okay no matter what, but I want to find out what happened. And so the very next day, there it was. We found him, and he was hurt. And we didn't know that he was hurt, so we started treating for his perfect health and for the perfect unfoldment of his life. So to go back to that, when we're treating and doing those things and praying, for me, and my understanding is we're not praying to control another person or to know what their outcome is, but just to know the perfect unfoldment of their life, whether it's on this plane of existence or the next or whatever. We are all knowing that they're continually evolving. So we were knowing that for our little rooster. So we are powerful. We can see. We can see clearly. We can imagine and really understand that we come from a source that knows everything, that is everything. We sang in our first song, I want to be, humbled in that source. I want to know as the truth knows. We do know that because within us is all that. We are that. So all we have to do is settle into it and see from that place. So it's not about it's not about setting goals and thinking, oh, I'm going to have this and I'm going to have that. In fact, I read this thing about vision boards. Like, we've all done vision boards, right? There's nothing wrong with vision boards, and I love them. But when Eric Butterworth explained it like that we were like putting gold coins in front of our eyes and looking at the things, I thought, wow, that really is deep, because what it really boils down to is not like what we're seeing, like I said before, but how we're seeing it. So where we have to go is back to our source, back to our power, back to our light, and know that that's sufficient. And as we look out from there, then we see more powerfully. And Ernest Holmes wrote this. I love this, because this is who we are. He says, I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the force of nature in its grasp. I'm going to read it to you again. It's so beautiful. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the force of nature in its grasp. So, just take a breath and just know that's what you come from. And those are the eyes that we can see with. And just like me running around Kmart, forgetting that in a little way, right? If we could just take a breath and we'll make a habit of it. It'll happen. It'll become a new habit. That when we find ourselves in a situation, that we can take a deep breath and get in touch with that place and see from those eyes. And everything will change. There's a story about Ernest Holmes, and it was the last talk he ever gave, and it was at the dedication in Whittier, California. And he had a cosmic moment where he actually, and it's recorded, and then later his close friends spoke to him, where he just looked out, and all he could see was light. He couldn't even speak it. He couldn't even say what he saw. He had to stop talking, because that's what we are, with this divine energy, this divine light. And we are not dreamers, or we are dreamers, but our dream is a reality. And we better keep dreaming in that way, and just realize the other way is not the normal way. The real way is the truth, the love, the peace, no matter what's going on in our lives. We come from an infinite source that is there and can do and be anything. Anything is possible. And we thought Kaua'i was gone. We did, and we had released him. And last night he came out of his little place, had a piece of pasta, and drank some water, sat there for a few minutes, and then went back in. So, hey, anything is possible. I believe in that. So I love you all, and thank you so much. And I turn the time over to my husband.
Thank you. And I'll bring these up in case I need to see something. One thing I do want to clear up before I do any kind of topic here about ICU is that we need to clear up the picnic table thing about, yes, it was a little, well, actually it's very funny. Rita posted some pictures of us. And she said what we were doing was that we were putting together panic tables. And so our lovely island reporter Michelle decided to let me know that she probably meant picnic, but it was under my name. So I said, well, there was some truth to that, because when I found out I was putting together picnic tables, I panicked. Because one thing you probably don't know about me, or you do if you've been around long enough, I'm not exactly home improvement. Let's just put it that way. I have other gifts that I use, and I love it, but no, you're not going to really see me out there, you know, putting it together. But that's a story I've told myself for a long time.
See, until now.
Until now. Because I can do a mean hammer. Just so you know, I learned something. Now, you may not know this, but a lot of guys get in there and they just, you know, let all that, and start, you know, no, you start slow. Just give it a little, get it where it's going. Then you start pounding it in. And do you know there's a therapy to that? But I love that. I go, this feels really good. And I said, letting it go, and I look over Rita, she's like, and I said to her, it's not always about you. I have other things I'm letting go of as well. So, yes, here we are. I see you. And I see me. And I have these two little quotes that I found. One was from Henry Bergson, who says, the eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. And John Lubbock says, what we see depends mainly on what we are looking for. So I thought those were a couple of nice launching words for me. I have been really looking at the fact of our senses, our five senses that we use in this world. And sometimes can get what I call trapped in. We think that this is it. And we look out at our world and we see these things, the world of form, and then we start making judgments and start to perceive them and start to believe that they are the absolute truth. And what I know is that it's the way I perceive it. Two of us can look at the same thing, and see something completely different. We can go through an experience. My brother and I are the perfect example, who's now transitioned many years ago, and I'm sure that he's seen things very differently than when he was here. He had a lot of troubledness to him. He saw the world as very dark. And I thought to myself, we both went through the experience of our childhood, and I'm like zippity-doo-dah, and he's like, this is living hell. You know what I'm saying? So we're both like looking at, and people go, well, it's the difference in their age, you know, that he was 7 years older than me. And I disagree with that. It was the difference in what I saw, and what I felt more than saw, what I felt. I looked at my world differently, as we all do. We look at it differently. Some people say, oh my God, you're so blind to what's really going on. And I'm thinking, and I get that a lot, especially as a minister, we get that a lot. You're just blinding yourself. Don't you really see what's going on out there? And I said, yeah, I do. I do see it. I'm not walking around blind. I see it. But I'm making another choice of how I see it. And that's changed my life in ways that I cannot even tell you. Where my brother saw darkness in our family, where he saw pain, where whatever decisions he made these decisions and he could see only the darkness. And sometimes he resented me every once in a while for seeing a little bit too much light. Because I was, to him, I don't even know why, it's not in my notes, he let me know that he felt that was fake. Have you ever been there? Oh, you're just faking it. You don't really want to look at, well, you know, once you've told the news once, it's no longer news. And I was doing this thing the other day, and I really, that's a mantra I use now, because I'm addicted, none of you are, but I've been addicted to a few of my stories that I have seen. And when I went to give them up, which, you know, a good science of mind minister would do, I felt a little resistance. Because I don't get to see myself, just like I don't get to see the guy that doesn't really know how to do that guy stuff. Because that's the story I've been telling myself for so many years that I've bought it. The truth is this about the guy stuff. Yesterday I was a little bit of a macho minister, but besides that, this is what I know about that. Someone would say, well, he doesn't like to hang pictures and do all that stuff. This is what it is. I used to say that, but I think it's been like a little trick I've used. So you don't ask me to help you do anything. And I'm thinking to myself, let's get real here, right? You know, oh, I don't do that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not real good at it. It's for someone else. The point of the matter is I really just don't want to do it. And that's really okay. And I'm like, when we start to live from that place and also to explore, right? I had a really good time doing it. And when I was interviewed about that, by the little girl came up with her camera, we want to interview you about the picnic tables. She said, how did you like that? I said, felt really good to be here with CSL Kauai on Sundays at 9 a.m. And then I said, I really did feel that. Actually, I did, but that's okay. I gave up shame last week. What she said, she goes, would you do this? She goes, would you like do this at your house, build your own picnic table? And I went, no. I would go to Home Improvement or Home Depot, and they would have picnic tables already assembled. And guess what? They deliver. Because I got other things I'm doing on this island. So this whole idea of sight. So you see, we really don't see with our eyes. We really don't. Even though the eyes are wondrous. I did a role one time back in my Hollywood days where I did a play called Butterflies Are Free. And the gentleman who was blind, and because I was a real method actor, so I had to, blindfold myself and walk around for weeks, really being able to feel what it was like to be blind. Have you ever felt like you were blind? Sometimes. And guess what I really learned from that? I learned that behind my eyes, when my eyes are shut, I still see. I still see. I can see everything, but mostly I can feel. And what I learned by that experiment was when I was walking around, touching and doing that, and all my friends saying, look at the crazy actor, And I was like going, yeah, but I'm a really good actor, that's why I'm doing this, And I would feel that, and I would think, it's not about that, it's about what I'm feeling in here. When someone walks into a room and you can feel it. When we were setting up today, you could feel a vibration, a giddiness of love, of just excitement. I can feel the energy right now if I close my eyes. I'm thinking, oh my God. But I don't really do that, right? Because we look first. We look first. So my intention for myself is to start to see from a place that God sees, whatever that word means to you. What would it be like? And I'm taking that moment right now to look at all of you, because God did have this idea, called Patrick, and said, I'm going to see through you. I'm going to live through you. I'm going to experience life through you. And it's going to be a grand adventure if you let me. If you let me. Wow. There's a lot of emotion in this day, is there not? And that's really okay. Because that is just that divine spirit moving through us that's saying, I'm here. Close your eyes, I'm here. We've been looking for God for a really long time. And all we had to do was close our eyes. Wow. So thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for letting me see you. There's nothing better than walking up to somebody and just saying, I see you. I think that's what Master Jesus all had in store when he was hanging out, right? He went out, he didn't hang out with the most elite. As a matter of fact, he pulled over a few of their tables. But what he did was he looked at people and they said, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And he said, You're lying. Don't you see? I'm diseased. Don't you see? No, actually I don't. But I see who you are. I see who I am. And that was the gift that was given that I am in search of. I'm in search of that. Every day of my life, I want to see with my eyes closed, but yet enjoy all of the senses. So it says, when the doors of perception are cleansed, and that's what we've been talking about today, man will see things as they truly are, infinite. William Blake. Well, what I'm feeling right now is that we totally get it, don't we? In this moment, I'm not worried about how we're going to feel when we leave here today. I know that we have come together today on purpose to remember who we are. And as I look at you, I am so full of just wonder of you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing yourself here in this moment. You are so loved, Mahalo. You're welcome. Yes, everybody breathe. Let's breathe together. Well, this is our time of affirmative giving, and affirmative giving means something different to every person. For us, what this means is that we have the opportunity to give from our consciousness, to give from our wallet. It doesn't matter, it's all God in action anyway, but the most important thing that you bring to this room is your love and your passion, and most of all, your consciousness. And I always said that God is the source of my supply. And someone said, well, then we don't need to put anything in the basket. And this is what I say. We're all God is the source of the supply. So guess what? I'm your source. You're my source. And we are just one source. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And we have
A new song.
So don't we have an affirmative giving?
Yes, we do. It's in your program first, the affirmative giving. If you just take a deep breath and really understand and feel what these words mean. It's divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing it returns to me abundantly. Thank you.
Abundance, living life in the abundance. So much good love in abundance. Sweet sensations of a new day rising abundance. Feel myself in this abundance, giving thanks for this abundance, calling in the blessings of a new day rising abundance, living life in the abundance, so much good love in abundance, sweet sensations of a new day rising abundance. Myself in the abundance, giving thanks to the abundance, calling in the blessings of a new day rising abundance, giving life in the abundance, so much good love in abundance, sweet sensations of a new day rising abundance, feel myself in this abundance, giving thanks for this abundance, calling in the blessings of a new day
And I do know abundance for all of us, and I give great gratitude for the abundance in these baskets and all the good that it does on this island of Kauai, in this ministry, and out in the world. And I just know it just multiplies magnificently for each of us within our own lives. So there is a giving and a receiving, a law of circulation that is in place right here and right now, and it is done. So with this gratitude in my heart for all that is good, I just release this word into universal law, knowing it is done, as we say together, and so it is now. Thank you, everyone.
So more gratitude. I'll start them out, and then you can jump in. We have lots of thank yous on Sunday. We want to thank everybody who was here in the morning helping us set up. Dan, who's been working growing our live streaming so that the people can see us off island as well. And we have our wonderful Karen, who comes here bright and early, helps us set up, and Kelly, who's running around just doing everything. Oh, there he is. And we also had Jackie. Just raise your hand if you were here this morning helping out. And Deborah was at the door, but you know her. And Roseanne and Rob.
Roseanne does her program, Roseanne and Rob, every week. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Yay.
And we have our beautiful Gabi back there that is always our anchor. I call her our spiritual anchor who sits back there. And just make sure that we don't fly off to the moon. That's it.
And Loya, thank you again for the beautiful flowers. And just thank you for everybody. Everybody gives in their most beautiful, perfect way. And just by showing up is giving. So thank you so much for being here and being on purpose in your life. And to these two beautiful beings, oh my God, thank you so much. Jeremy and Aiden, thank you.
One thing I want to throw in, and Marco might be watching live streaming. Marco, if you're here for the first time, Marco is the guy that's usually running around with the camera going, wah, and just capturing everything, and edits beautifully, and also puts it on public television here on the island, because I know we've been recognized.
For Saturday
For Saturday evenings and Tuesday, and then there's other times too that he's doing. So anyway, he's taking a little break because he's way ahead of the tapings. So he's going to take a little break, and now we have live streaming, so it all works very well. But if you are watching, Marco, mahalo, mahalo. Let's give it up for. And I also want to thank you. We hardly ever do thank ourselves with this, but I do thank you. Yes. I know you guys find that hard to believe, but I don't. Thanks.
I want to thank you for taking the leap with me.
Oh.
All right,
Yes.
to Kauai.
Yeah. And you like a little bird that's kicked out of the nest.
I was like, get over there now and start it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it worked, too. There you go. So I think we're ready. We're ready to close out. And what we'd like to do, are we going to circle up today?
Do you think we have room?
I think we do, actually.
Okay, we'll squeeze together.
We'll make it happen. We tried this thing, and it's just nice just to kind of get in a nice circle. I know it seems impossible, but I know that with all things, it is possible. There we go.
Let's put it on Patrick and Rita.
I don't think you need your programs for this song. Everyone pretty much.
Oh, that's right. That way we can actually see what everybody looks like. That's good. We see you. Lolita.
Say hello.
Yay.
And the night is on, and the moon is the only light we see. I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
What I know is right here we are standing next to each other, but what I know is what's happening inside of us is good, is God, is the universal flow, that circle of life. And I am so filled with gratitude for each and every one of us who have stepped forward today, stepped out from ourselves and could see clearly and does see clearly everything. And we are not selfish. We take it out. We take this joy, this love, this passion, and we take it out into our lives, our personal lives, and into our world. So knowing that, I just say yes, mahalo, 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 as we join together in one consciousness and we say, and so it is now.
It's the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall on the mountains, should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Yes, here we go. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Have a beautiful day, coffee, water, and social time. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And Diane and Judy, have a wonderful, safe trip back. We miss you already.
God bless. That was
Oh,
fabulous.
yes.
Thank you, my brother.
Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday. Yes,
All right,
yes.
happy birthday again.
We'll see you next week.